Today we're gonna be talking about serial killers. Quick disclaimer: if anything, we're gonna be talking about some pretty fucked up shit. A lot of fucked up shit people have done. So if you got kids watching, or if you are a child, you might not want to be watching this. But yeah, and we're gonna be getting into it. So we'll just do a quick little definition of like what a serial killer is, just to kind of set the standard. So serial killers are typically a person who murders three or more people in two or more separate events over a period of time, or primarily psychological reasons. So each of us kind of got a couple people we want to talk about, and then we'll just kind of bounce around. But first, we're going to be talking about old Jeffrey Dahmer, just because of the new Netflix show. It's super popular. So if you're still watching the show and you don't want any spoilers, you might want to skip ahead. But yeah, I guess we'll just jump straight into Papa Jeff.
Yeah, we were talking about Jeffrey Dahmer on our football podcast, and we were talking about like the show and shit. And I hadn't seen it, and Jaden was telling me about it, and then we're like, "Oh shit, serial killers would be like a crazy
Yeah,
topic." That
the
show is
show.
fucked up. Like the first episode was fucking nuts.
It's such a really good show, but like it's hard to say it's good because of like what's going on. It's just like it's super uncomfortable to watch a little bit, but it's like really well made. And Evan Peters,
I haven't seen of it yet, but like I've been hearing like how females are like craving Jeffrey Dahmer now. Like kind of weird.
I did.
He's dead, yeah.
Kind of weird.
It is, yeah, and then he was a homosexual too. So, but yeah, we'll just kind of quickly just kind of go through his stats, kind of what he was about, what he did. I mean, if you got anything pulled up, you guys can go through them, or I can. I got his page right here. I got his wiki. I think I can share my screen. You disabled participant screen sharing.
Oh,
Nick, what did you? Why would you do that?
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Can you activate it, or is it?
I'm trying to see if it'll let me do it. Like,
what have you done? Show you his little pretty mug.
Ooh, preferences, I think. Let's see.
Well, I guess while you're looking for that, I'll just kind of go through it. All right, so Jeffrey Lionel, what a sick ass name for a middle name. What a Chad. Jeffrey Lionel Dahmer. He was born in 1960, died in 94. That's 2 years before I was born. Also known as the Milwaukee Cannibal or the Milwaukee Monster. Man, they gave that dude some sorry ass names. That they could have come up with something way better. Like the Hashley and Slasher or something like that. Shout out SpongeBob. He is also an American. He's a sex offender. He would murder and dismember people. He did 17 men and boys. He did kind
of beforehand, or was he a sex offender like that started his sex offending?
Also, according to the show, like he starts getting really weird. And I think he starts noticing he's like attracted to dudes. And then like he starts like cutting up animals and shit with like his dad. And like the organs inside the animals, like he starts getting like sexually aroused by it. And I think all that played in. And then when his mom was pregnant with him, this is all according to the show, so I don't know how accurate the show is, but she was taking like 27 different like pills and medications and shit while she was pregnant with him, and like she was fucking crazy, it seems like. And then when he was like a young boy, like his mom and dad would like fight a lot in the house, just screaming, and like he's just sitting there listening to him. And it didn't really seem like he had like a lot of like love and attention, something a growing boy would like need. And then fast forward a little bit, they find like a dead animal into the house, and like he's like really interested in it. And so like his dad and them like are like fucking with it. And then a little bit later, they find some like roadkill on the side of the road, and they start picking up roadkill and like taking it in the garage and like dissecting it. So like I think all of this is just like building him up as like the fucking fucked up person in the head that he becomes. So like he starts getting into necrophilia, cannibalism, preserving body parts, Yeah. So he was diagnosed with a borderline personality disorder, schizotypal personality disorder, whatever the fuck that is, and a psychotic disorder. But he was found to be legally sane in his trial, convicted of 15. He was convicted of 15 of the 16 murders he had committed in Wisconsin, and he got 15 terms of life imprisonment in jail. And then he finally got the 16th. And then
they didn't kill him. Like they let him.
So eventually, he did get beat to death by a fellow inmate in the correctional institution of Columbia in Wisconsin. So that dude also beat to death another dude. I think he looked like a barbell or some shit. I don't know if he was like he found out, what he did, or maybe because the dude that killed him was a black guy, and he was kind of I think at the end he was killing like a lot of black dudes.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I don't know if maybe that was like his type or whatever. So let's see. Anything else juicy in here?
You should be able to share your screen though.
Oh, okay. I'm just gonna scroll into the wiki. I'll show you his picture real quick if you've never seen him. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
All right, look at that. Look at that absolute Chad. Them glasses.
Bitches are thirsting for him.
I don't know. I might start rocking me a pair of those. Maybe I can.
Yo, wait, hold on. Scroll back up. Is that you?
Yeah, it's me right there.
I see a little resemblance.
Grow out the beard. Dye my hair a different color. Let's see. Anything spicy in here? Oh, he's cremated. That way nobody can go defecate on his resting place.
Only 34. That's like pretty young. The amount of time he had been doing it though is wild.
I think he killed his first person when he was like 18. Let's see. There we go right here. 3 weeks after his graduation. Yeah, so they show this one in the show. I think it's like the third episode. He picked up this hitchhiker. And then they went back to the house talking about like, drinking. They was gonna lift some weight, smoke some weed, and he was gonna give this dude a ride to this concert. And they I think he was like just really like wanting a friend, and the dude eventually was like trying to leave, and like he tried to kiss him or some shit, and then he hit him in the back of the head with like a dumbbell, and killed him.
How do they know all this shit? They talking about, he strangled him and then masturbated as he stood above the corpse.
Well, they probably interviewed him. Like a lot of these serial killers, they like
they want to know what they did.
Yeah, they know they're not fucking getting out. There's no point in beating around the bush of like what they did. So they'll just interview them, or they'll bring in like a behavioral specialist, and they kind of break down some of the barriers to get them like speaking. You ever seen that show Mindhunter on Netflix?
I haven't.
Yeah, I've seen a little bit of it.
Yeah, so it's essentially like they formed like the first like behavioral specialist unit, like the dudes that are in Criminal Minds, like it's like the beginning of them, and they start, serial killers like wasn't a thing at that point in time, so they would go and meet these people in prison and like ask them like what the fuck they did, like why they were doing it, just to try to like get in the mind of them, just to figure out like why they're doing these things. And I'm assuming the FBI people would go and interview these people and get them to talk about whatever they did.
So I noticed two things here. That's what I was doing while I was looking all silly because I was reading it. So I don't know too much about him, but two juicy things for me. He went to OSU.
Yep. Old Buckeye. I don't think he made it through his first semester.
Yeah, got a 0.45 GPA. That's solid. And then he was in the Army doing medical stuff. So, it's, I don't know, interesting.
Yeah, so it doesn't really show much of in the show, like the TV show. It don't really show his Army service too much, but I think there was like, I don't want to spoil it for Nick. Did they show his Army portion? Yeah, where you're at?
Nah. Where I left off was where like the cops like show up and he has that kid. The kid stumbled out. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, that 14-year-old
like
dude.
that episode. Yeah,
that shit was nuts.
It's fucked up.
I wonder if they talk about that in here. I might be down more towards the bottom because I think
that was when he was way more established as like he'd been doing it for a minute.
But let's see. Yeah, and he was like living with his dad and his stepmom. Like his dad like left his mom and like or had an affair with this girl he was working with or some shit, left, and then his mom like left him at home, took his brother and just left him there. And his dad shows back up like 3 months later with his new girl and is like, "Where the fuck's your mom at?" And he's like, "I don't know. She just left me here." The dude that was after he'd murdered that first dude in their house. And he's just fucking drinking like crazy and just going fucking nuts. Lifting weights. In the show, he got pretty fucking jacked.
Yeah,
and then like
some of that.
It's the dude's fucking nuts. Is there anything crazy in here?
Like I don't want to like jump ahead or nothing, but like what I was reading when I was doing my little research, like it seems like all of them are traumatized from beforehand. Like it's not like they woke up one day and was like, I want to start like killing people. Like it seems like had like kind of like mental problems from abuse or some other kind of thing. So it's like, who do you blame? Do you blame him or do you blame the parents? You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes down to all these serial killers, I don't know if they're all like that, but
I'd probably blame his parents. I mean, at least in the show, like it really like kind of like everything that happened really kind of built him up into like what he did.
Right.
Yeah.
And like it says right here, it's most serial killers are psychological reasons, so they're not they're not all correct in the head. So can you guys still see my picture, or you just see my screen?
Right now we just see the screen. Or I just see the screen.
Okay. Interesting.
For me, it's like talking. That's who I see.
All right, I'll stop sharing. But
were you talking about like your camera?
Yeah, you can still see.
Oh yeah, we can see all three of us.
Oh, okay.
I kind of like that, like better, low key.
All right, that way we can kind of whenever I'm going through, I guess we can see whatever the fuck I'm looking at. I'm not just pulling shit out of my ass. Oh, we don't want to get too far in there. That's my future lists. Let's see. There's another crazy thing in the show. He starts working at this like meat shop or like a butcher thing, and he goes to like buy a t-shirt or like a nice dress shirt because the dude like wants him to like be dressing nice.
Yeah.
And so he goes to buy the store, or he goes to the store to buy a shirt, and he goes and checks out, and he like looks behind him, and this girl's like taking these clothes off this mannequin, and like he like stops and he's like staring at it, and it's a dude mannequin, and he's got like now like abs and shit, and he's just like mesmerized with this fucking mannequin. And I think this is before he like probably realized he was homosexual. So he goes to the dressing room and like closes the curtain and like sits in there and waits till they close. And this motherfucker goes and steals the mannequin and takes it back to his grandma's house, and he's like laying in bed like rubbing on it and shit. Fucking weird. I wonder. I feel like I seen something in here about that. Here it is. He's also known to have stolen a male mannequin from a store, which he briefly used for sexual stimulation until his grandmother discovered it and threw it away.
Yeah, they showed that part where the grandmother found it.
He just he goes off on her. He's like yelling at her. Like I think that was kind of the first time he like blew his little switch.
Yeah, they're shown in there that they said his grandmother was the only family member he showed any affection to. Just was kind of weird.
I mean, in the show, his dad wasn't that bad to him. I mean, he was like proud of him for like joining the army, and like anytime he was doing good, it seemed like he was like actually proud of him, which is. But I don't think it was enough, like after all the fucked up shit that had happened to him, it wasn't enough just to be proud. Like I felt like he just needed like maybe some affection,
Yeah, it may be somebody outside of his family. He seemed like very, like in the high school part, like very desperate to have friends and stuff, and
yeah.
kind of be like a class clown.
This might be maybe the second guy he killed.
Damn, that's a pretty big gap from 78 to 87.
Also, in the show, he says when he's getting interviewed by the police, after the first guy he killed, the one in his house, the hitchhiker, he said he waited 9 years before he killed again. And he said he was trying to like suppress the urge. Like he had it and he was just trying to be good. So he drugged him just to lie beside him as he explored his body. And he found next morning, his chest was crushed in. Jesus. I beat the fuck out of him. Purchased a large suitcase. He took it back to his grandma's house.
Damn, that's fucking savage.
He filleted the bones from the body. Pounded them they show them when he killed that hitchhiker, fucking pounding the bones into dust, and he threw it in his backyard.
Jesus Christ.
What a fucking savage.
You're giving me some Dexter vibes.
He threw the severed head in the trash.
Why?
He kept the head for 2 weeks wrapped in a blanket, and he boiled the head in a mixture of some detergent and bleach to retain the skull, and then used it as a stimulus for masturbation.
Jesus Christ.
What a fucking sick bastard.
Dude is so fucking nuts.
What I just can't like imagine like where you gotta be in your mind to like to get to this point. I just can't like fathom.
You gotta be in a whole different reality. Like you're at that point like perceiving the world so much differently than the average person.
Began to actively seek victims. Oh, okay. This is when he started going on the hunt. Yeah, I think his gay bars were. Yeah, he's still taking him back to his grandma's house. Just drugging him. I think that was like his main thing, like drugging him.
Yeah, I think that's the fort. Like right there is probably when they show the 14-year-old.
Oh yeah, maybe $50. He left the body in the cellar for 1 week before dismembering it. Can you imagine? Could you imagine how bad that fucking smells?
Yeah, facts. Imagine like, was his grandma there? Like, was she just like, all right, like?
I don't know. She was pretty old.
She's like completely ignorant to the fact that he's fucking killing people. Like that's kind of nuts.
Oh, gross. He killed this dude and then performed oral sex upon the corpse. What the fuck, dude? Still throwing remains in the trash, retaining the skull.
Different. I feel like also back in the day, like I feel like serial killers today are easier to spot. Like I shouldn't say spot because I read something that says like you walk past like 3 to 4 serial killers in your life, kind of thing, like not even knowing. Yeah. But like nowadays, like just that kind of action in general, I feel like wouldn't fly. Like you're not going around killing 10, 13 people nowadays unless you're like, like a school shooting or something like that. Like, I feel like it's hard to really like.
No, it would be really hard just with like the way technology could track things and shit. You would get caught a lot easier. Right. But I've seen a thing that like they get away with it by traveling like far distances. And then like a lot of like the missing people report is like could be like the like from a serial killer essentially.
Right. So okay, makes sense.
And then they really tend to go to like the low income areas where people might not even notice they're gone. They could have been like they could have OD'd, picking up homeless people. Like nobody's gonna fucking notice a homeless person's gone. And then kind of like rural areas where there's not necessarily a lot of people, that way you can kind of almost move undetected a little bit.
For sure.
But I do think it's there's a lot less of a chance of getting away with it now for longer than just a few kills.
And y'all sick fucks out there thinking about this shit. No. You're getting
Yeah, don't do it.
I think this is the apartment that he moves into when he gets caught. He took some mummified head and genitals with him.
Jesus Christ.
Need that though. You know what I'm saying?
He's like, I gotta take the essentials. He didn't. Yeah. He's like, I ain't taking no clothes. I ain't taking the the sofa or nothing. I'm gonna take me a head and these genitals. And then he gets a sixth guy. Why is it always $50? You know what I'm saying? Like, he's always telling people he's gonna give him $50 for pictures or whatever.
Like, you'd think they'd be demanding more. Granted, like the dollar is probably more valuable back then.
I wonder what $50 back in 1990 was actually like.
$200 nowadays.
Maybe.
Shit.
He boiled this person's legs and arms and pelvis in a steel kettle. Sick. Oh, I think that's that container filled with acid that he's like keeping.
Damn, it's worth more than double. It was worth $2.27.
So that's like $120, something like that.
Yeah, that's kind of nuts.
Still kind of cheap though, but inflation is crazy.
It's like, I think in the first episode of the show, it shows how he gets caught, and he ends up like getting this dude to come to his apartment, promises him some money for some pictures, tries to drug him, and then like he handcuffs like one of his hands, and then like takes him into the bedroom, is like trying to make him watch fucking a movie or some shit, Exorcist 3, and then he was able to kind of escape and brought the cops back to the place. Shit's crazy. Could you imagine how bad it smelled in that apartment?
Oh, it had to have been horrible. It's just crazy that this guy was the one that took him down. Like, how many more people he could have killed had this guy not escaped?
What do you think that guy's? You think that guy's still alive?
I was reading that he's like homeless now and shit. Like it just like affected him like mentally just to that point where he couldn't function normally.
I couldn't imagine. Does it say his name in here? Tracy Edwards.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. That shit would just ruin you for like a life. Like what do you do after that? After you get out of there and you're like, all right, this dude tried to do some weird shit, and then you take the cops back there, and then turns out to find out there was like 17. This dude had killed like 17 fucking people before you. You was about to be next.
Yeah.
Like, where do you go from there?
Yeah, that's traumatizing in itself, to be honest with you. You know?
I don't even think
I don't know. You play stupid games, get stupid rewards. Like, hey, random guy, come back to my place and let's take nude pictures. Like, guy or girl, in that matter. It doesn't matter. I don't know. It's just weird.
It's a different time. It's a different time back then. Like, the shit like wasn't really happening on the like wasn't prominent in like the news or anything like that.
All right. So he did everything in Milwaukee though. Like, he wasn't traveling around killing people in different. Like, I
think so.
Those people in I don't know.
It's so he ended up getting questioned. Took 60 hours. Shit. He didn't even want a lawyer. Yeah, I think he just confessed to everything. Admitted to murdering 16 young men. Yeah, in Wisconsin. So all in Wisconsin.
That's
and
crazy.
then he got that one Stephen Hicks dude in Ohio.
But think about it. If he kept on like referring back to his grandma's house, like, how many bodies did he freaking disassemble at his grandma's house? Like, that's just crazy that, it went that long without, that just goes to show you how, technology is, like, besides the point. But
yeah,
craziness.
Yeah, can I zoom in on that? Oh, what the fuck? I was trying to zoom in on that picture. Where'd it go? I think it was down here.
Yeah, I think it was a little further down. Yeah.
Oh, I can't zoom in on just the picture. I guess this is a fucking altar that he drew to the cops that he was planning to create There's a table. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell what all that. Maybe I think those are all skulls right there on top of the table. I don't know. It looks fucking weird.
Was that some like satanic shit or what?
It was just some altar that he was planning to create when he got arrested, and he drew that for the cops. What a fucking weird dude, man. Well, I guess we can. I mean, there's a lot in here, but I don't want to just comb through.
Yeah.
So we
You don't wanna-
can move on to the next one.
What would you say? Never mind.
What?
What did you say before that? You say you don't want to.
I don't want to comb through all the whole fucking wiki page, and I don't want. Yeah, that would we could spend a whole episode just going through Jeffrey Dahmer.
Right.
So
Sure.
all right, you guys want the next one? What do you guys got?
What you got?
Oh, okay. All right, I'm sorry.
Are we talking to me or him?
Oh, him.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So like, I don't know. Like I knew we were talking about Jeffrey Dahmer, so I was trying to go on like the youngest people ever because it's like, I don't know, like to be that young and like have notions of like killing people and fucking all that crazy shit. Like obviously, like we said earlier, something's wrong. But like I pulled up this one girl. I just thought it was just like interesting. Like I can't show my screen, but like this is a 12-year-old female, right? She killed both of her parents and her 8-year-old brother because her parents disapproved of her relationship with a 23-year-old. But he claimed to be a 300-year-old werewolf.
What the fuck?
So, like, and the funny part is that she was acquitted of her crimes allegedly because the dude was responsible for brainwashing her to commit these heinous crimes, which we go back to that. But the other thing that had me rolling is that she was in Canada. So like, you know how Canadians are always like, oh, like, you know, they're so nice out there. And I was like, I don't know. It was just not funny to me, but I was like, coincidental. But yeah, so she was dropped. Her charges were dropped, but she pled guilty to obstruction and received 1 year of house arrest for killing her family.
Jesus.
Yeah, so, and I don't know. I just thought that was interesting because you're a 12-year-old female. You're going to kill your family for a 300-year-old werewolf and then get away with it.
What year did this take place?
Let me see if it says. I'm on the
X. Twilight was out.
Fucking Team Jacob, boy.
2006.
Was that
before? That was before.
That was before.
I think
that was more like 2010, 2011 type shit.
Yeah.
And then one more that I want to talk about because this one, this kid was 13 and 15. He killed 4 innocent victims as a juvenile, and he was released at 21. So the thing about this was in where was this at? This was in Rhode Island, and they actually changed the state law because of him, and they made it to where you juveniles could be tried as adults. So,
yeah, I agree with that. Depending on the like the crime,
right?
Yeah.
Like
murder and shit like that. 100%. Like, especially if you're pushing like that adult range.
Like you're like past 15 or some shit. Like
yeah,
14,
honestly, I would say, yeah, if you're 14 and above, like 100%, hit them with the book. You're kind of old enough at that point to know like that shit's not cool. It's not right. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I feel like even maybe like 12 at that point, you know, like for sure.
Do you remember when you were 12? I mean, I really don't. I don't know.
I mean, like I was in 6th grade, and I remember like knowing I didn't think killing people was normal.
Yeah, he's right.
Facts. I mean, yeah, probably most 12-year-olds aren't gonna be like, all right, let me go get the strap and we're gonna air this fucking house out.
Right. But that nowadays people think like that. Like,
yeah,
it's I don't know. The world, like, people are growing up younger. The video games, like, you know how those people are like, oh, it's the video games that are making these kids act violent. Like, and I can see it to a certain point, but I don't know.
And then you also got all these, movies and TV shows. They talk about the school shootings on the news, and like if these kids are seeing that, and if they're like, oh fuck, that's the same situation I'm going through. they're treating me just like that kid was getting treated. Like, I don't know.
They're almost like idolizing it, I think. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not, I mean, all right, maybe not idolizing it, but the way they speak on it, you know what I'm saying? It's like if you're having a fucked up time in your life and you see something like that, like, and like how you're talking about Jeffrey Dahmer, like maybe he just needed a little attention. Maybe that's their breakthrough. Like, oh, I'll finally get attention. Like, I'll be seen. I don't know.
No, I think so. Some of them probably do like want to at least get their name out, because like the news talks about them for days on end.
Oh, I think a lot of the times now they're not talking about them to try to prevent that. Like they're not showing their pictures. A lot of people are just like, yeah, we're not gonna give this person any fame. So I mean, whether or not that works or not.
Because wasn't there like a copycat killer or something? Is that, for some reason, that's ringing a bell? Is that a serial killer?
That sounds familiar, but I don't know anything about it.
That does sound familiar.
But yeah, now I don't know.
All right, Nick, you want to go next?
I think you got Ted Bundy pulled up. That's kind of who I was thinking.
I do got him up there in the top. He's on deck.
Yeah.
He's in the batting rotation. Well, this dude's fucking top G in the serial killer community. This man's numero uno, highest KD ratio. This man fucking, I think his victim count's like 220 or some shit.
Damn.
I never heard of this guy. That's nuts to me.
So yeah, I just looked up, serial killers by number of victims, and then I was he's not number one, so he's got 193 proven, but 300 plus possible. So I was like, all right, since he's on number one, we'll talk about him. And then I kind of scrolled through here and found, a lot of the interesting ones. So he was Colombian. He was a pederast, rapist, child molester, and necrophile. He was born in 91. No, born 57, nicknamed the Beast, La Bestia. Confessed to committing the rape, torture, mutilation, and murder of 147 minors. Yeah, this dude is super fucked up. Ages 6 to 16 in 1980. God damn. Minimum of 200 minors. Like I don't know. I don't want to touch on it too much. This guy's weird, but I just feel like we had to at least show this one. He's the top guy. How did he die? His penalty was 1,853 years in imprisonment. That's fucking nuts. So his crimes 92 to 99, 3 different countries.
Is he still alive? It's not showing a death date. Yeah,
he might be in jail still. I would fucking hope so.
Nah.
I mean, they got him in 99, so he went through fucking 7 years of fucking mayhem. We'll go to, see if it talks about what the fuck he's doing now. I like how they gave him like all those years and then 9 days.
We had 9 days. So
yeah, just in case he lived to 1,853. I guess they ended up reducing it to 22 years, which is fucking wild.
His sentence was reduced to 22 years. When he get put in jail, 99?
Bro, you're not gonna guess what just happened. Joe Mixon just scored a touchdown.
No!
I told you. I'm
gonna need. All right, moving on. He's gonna become eligible for parole next year.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
How do you kill that many people when you do about 20 some years? That's what the fuck, dude.
Yeah, it says they criticize the possibility of his release as
this man plans to enter the Congress, enter the ministry as a pastor, marry a woman, and then hope to help abuse children. That sounds just.
They're gonna let him around children? No, hell no.
No fucking shot. Good for him though. He suffers from severe eye cancer and leaves him weak and fatigued. Good. Fuck that guy. He makes handcuffs, earrings, and necklaces in the medical unit. Oh, piece of shit. I hope somebody
playing up the good behavior too.
Right? That man's putting him in prime position to to come back for the remix.
I want to know how it goes from 1,800 years to 20.
Right?
Big jump.
So the Colombian law limits imprisonment to 40 years, and because he helped the police find the bodies, that's how they reduced it down to 20. So they took fucking about 20 off just for helping. Stupid. But yeah, enough of that piece of shit.
I feel like we should have like torture laws. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
something. I mean, these fuckers just go in there and like, I mean, most of the times you hear about like them getting killed by like fellow inmates and shit, which is kind of what should happen. Like, but I don't know.
Yeah, like certain crimes, like you should be able to torture them for certain crimes. Is that what you mean?
I think
you're not gonna.
I got one on here that they fucking end up. The government ends up like killing them or some shit. Like, I don't know. It was weird.
Put that man in a cell next to somebody that committed tax evasion or some shit.
Right?
They're doing things like, you know, not right.
Fucking yeah, Wesley Snipes in there was fucking with that guy.
Yeah.
Shit. I don't know. Wesley Snipes might be able to take him. That man
he's preying on fucking 6 and 10-year-olds, like, you know.
That shit makes me sick. What a piece of shit.
Fucked up work.
What y'all got next?
So I looked up copycat killers. There's not like a specific copycat killer. Like it's like that's like a kind. There wasn't like the copycat.
Oh, that might be like a TV thing. I feel like that shit's on like some Criminal Minds episode or something like that.
Series.
Yeah, 100%.
Like that was on Scream or some shit. that movie, like I feel like like Scream 2 is like somebody copying the killer off of Scream 1.
Oh, it was a doofy.
That's a scary movie that you're talking.
Like a dragging around that vacuum.
Oh yeah.
How do y'all feel about like, because like nowadays, like, you know, like even with the Jeffrey Dahmer thing, like, you know, everybody's like, oh, like it's so cool to watch, like so interesting, and like even like all the Criminal Minds and all that stuff. Like, I don't watch those shows. Like Jeffrey Dahmer, I would say is different because it's like more of like a biography on him, right? But like watching like the not Criminal Minds, but like, you know what the fuck I'm talking about, like where they're fucking like, give me a show like where they're killing people and they're going over the scene or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, like in my head, right? Like I think it's messed up to watch like other people's family members like getting killed and then like making a show out of it for people's entertainment. You know what I'm saying? That
makes sense.
But somebody broke it down for me as well as like, you know, it's helping them like their story live on kind of thing.
I mean, not really. It's your story is being overshadowed by the person that killed you. Like they're not talking about you. You're in that show for like maybe an episode or fucking 30 seconds showing this dude acting as your family member getting.
You know, that is really fucked up kind of thinking about it. Like Netflix is putting that show up to make money. Like that's the bottom line. That's what they're doing it for. So it's kind of fucked up that they're profiting off like the murders of these people.
Now that I've like seen the show and like I've seen how popular it is, that might be one of Netflix's like best shows that they probably have ever made. Like it's probably gonna be up there.
And what's the chance? I bet I'll put money on it now. By the end of this fucking show, somebody does this shit. I'll put money on it. I would be guaranteed to put money. These fucking sickos, man. They're out here talking about how they fucked Jeffrey Dahmer, all this crazy shit. You go one of those, you know, people down the street that have been thinking about this stuff, and they're like, "Oh, I get my own Netflix show." Like, I don't know. Mark my words. It'll be on this video. Mark my words. But
I mean, yeah. Well, I guess if it does happen, we come back. Fucking old D. Larson was the guy that said it first. Hot take. Super hot take.
Super, indeed.
Nikki, you got one, or you just want to keep rolling?
We can just keep rolling through these.
All right. I guess I'll close this out. I thought this one was a little interesting. I'll go down and find his little snippet. So he killed 100 people. Pakistan. This was in a year. Child murder and rapist known as Kukri. he murdered 100 street children by strangling them and covering up his crimes by dissolving the bodies with acid. He was arrested in 1999 after sending a letter to a newspaper and was set to be executed in the manner described by the judge, who stated, "You will be strangled to death in front of the parents whose children you killed. Your body will then be cut into 100 pieces and put in acid, the same way you killed the children." However, he died in custody before he could be executed. See, that's what I'm fucking talking about. Like,
Yeah.
That's how you handle it. Yeah.
that's the shit that should be happening. Like,
Eye for an eye kind of thing.
that judge was fucking on the money. I think that was the reason. Like that portion right there was like why I chose this guy. Like, yeah, I mean the count was like.
I mean,
like
in a
number
year,
three
that's pretty nuts.
Yeah, and he's number 3 on the list. But just for that reason, I wanted to bring it up, and like that shit's crazy.
Why do you guys think a lot of these killers like target kids as like their primary victim? Like, what do you think the reasoning behind that is? Besides them just being a sick fuck.
Right, because they're small, they're easy to manipulate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that might be.
That's the only thing I can think of.
I was thinking maybe they had some issues like stemming back to like childhood or something that like.
Yeah, well, yeah, and a lot
made
of
them hate kids for some reason. I don't know.
Right, and a lot of people like something had like sex offenders, for example. Like a lot of shit happens to them as a kid, so they grow up and then in turn do the same thing that happened to them. I don't know if they just think it's okay because it happened to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
That's a different breed though, because like I feel like when you freaking like when I see some shit like that, like if I see a family member doing some crazy shit, like I'm like, all right, I'm gonna not do that. Like, how do you grow up and be like, you know what, I was abused. Like, let me go fucking abuse more people. Like, I don't know, weird. But I'm sorry for cutting you off, Bastella.
No, you're good, dude. It's an open discussion.
Yeah,
for sure. But
I just thought that was fucking nuts.
What's the most recent one? Is there like can it show like the most recent?
It's a good question.
I can't fucking type for shit. Don't judge me. Jesus Christ.
Is that how you for real?
I almost couldn't fucking remember how to spell serial killers. Is Grunge a good website? I've never even heard of that. Yeah, we'll try it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Who is the fuck out of here?
2010.
Caught in 2010. This guy was on that list. I seen him on there. Started in 89.
Yep. Sorry, made me think about some other shit. Like the what's his face? The fucking what's the big serial killer that was like missing for like fucking like they didn't know who it was for like 50 years.
Like the Zodiac killer?
Yeah, Zodiac killer. And then like the DNA
I got him on deck, baby.
Yeah, like that's crazy to me. And then it turned out that he was the fucking cop working the cases.
Oh, this is fucking wrong fucking tab. I don't know. This fucking I want something easy. Just give me the fucking most recent one. 2000 serial killers? Jesus Christ.
What was the first one? Usually the first one's the best one. I'll list of serial killers in the United States.
You got years active. Is there anything? 90, 91, 98, 2002. I have a winner on the 2009.
Do you think that it's harder to be a serial killer in the United States than, say, in freaking Colombia or something?
2020.
I would guess so.
He got 3 people. Murdered people he worked for as a tree trimmer. You can't trust nobody out here, bro. Metro, Detroit serial killer. Detroit.
Homeless woman.
I thought this was another Detroit. I was like, fuck, what's going on in
Christ.
Detroit, bro? I mean, I guess 2020 is the most recent one. I mean, according to this Wikipedia page. It's an 8 piece. 8-piece crispy.
8K.
Nursing assistant who murdered 7 elderly male military veterans with
Damn.
injections of insulin.
That's fucked up.
Jesus. It's a med aid essentially.
In fucking West Virginia. That's
Medical
fucked,
assistant.
dude.
That's fucked up.
Are there any big hitters on here from recent times?
10 plus.
Potential
10.
5 patients injecting bleach into their dialysis lines. God damn.
So this motherfucker.
He's
my
that
God.
Cleveland Strangler. That's crazy.
I feel like I remember that one, like, kind of just like as a kid, like just a brief memory of that one.
This is another American serial killer. I think those first 2 are the only foreign people I picked out.
That's really nice.
I can just keep going if you guys want. If you guys don't cut anything.
Yeah,
So we got
can keep
Robert.
going through,
Got Robert Hanson, born 1939. He died 2014. The butcher baker. So in between 1971 and 1983, abducted, raped, and murdered at least 17 women around a lot. Oh, this one's fucking crazy, bro. I remember I seen a video on this. So he was kidnapping these people and taking them out into a fucking little hunting area, and he was hunting them. Yeah, taking them in the wilderness and then hunting them, like that fucking Most Dangerous Game book.
Like he was like letting them go, and then he would track them down and hunt them.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Since the 461, we'll get into this guy a little bit. It's kind of an interesting one.
Wait,
461 years, no parole. Died in 2014. Let's see. Anything crazy in his early life? Was he fucking abused?
Not receiving the attention he wanted from the attractive girls in school.
Huh.
He grew up hating them.
Had a stutter, shy, severe acne.
Yet again, another army person.
Oh, yeah, he was in the Army Reserve for a year. Got discharged. Worked as an assistant drill instructor at the police academy. He got married. Let's see, he started fucking around in 1960. He burned down a Board of Education school bus garage. Revenge for his unpopularity in high school. Nice. 20 months in prison.
Be nice, kids. Be nice.
Diagnosed with manic depression, periodic schizophrenic episodes. He had an infantile personality, obsessed with getting back at people he felt had wronged him. Got divorced. Damn, she left his ass while he was in jail. Hate to see it. He started getting petty crime, moved to Anchorage. He finally got a second wife, had 2 kids. Set several local hunting records. So he did get arrested for abducting and attempting to rape an unidentified housewife, and then for raping an unidentified sex worker. No contest. Did he get time for that? Charge was dropped, part of the plea bargain. He got 5 years, served 6 months, placed on a work release program. Damn, that's crazy. They had that man and then they let him out. Got caught stealing a chainsaw.
Oh my.
Got sentenced to 5 years. Got psychiatric treatment. Reduced his sentence, and then he got released again. Holy fuck, bro. How many times am I gonna just catch this dude and then let his ass go?
Like him stealing a chainsaw, you could just walk into a store and buy one. Like,
right?
Why are you stealing it?
So he started killing in 1972. He would pick up a prostitute in his car at gunpoint. He'd rape her. Oh, he had his own. Yeah, he had his own private little airplane. So he'd fly her out and then hunt them as if they were wild game. And then he would either shoot them or he would like sneak up on them and like stab them. Fucking nuts. This person froze to death. What a fucking maniac, bro. Got this girl here.
Drove him to his home.
More rape and torture.
Jesus Christ.
I think this one escaped.
It seems like they didn't like.
Oh, maybe not.
The courts didn't give a fuck about rape back then, from the looks of it. The way they just kind of let him go.
Yeah, this one here, it's talking about this girl, the 17-year-old, she escaped. told the police about all that. Chased her. She flagged down a truck.
Boyfriend at the timber.
So the police arrived. Arrived at the hotel where he was at. He was still handcuffed and alone. Oh no, that's Paulson's not him. Oh, that's the girl that escaped. Never mind.
Damn, this dude's like only targeting women. He's like the opposite of Jeffrey Dahmer almost.
Yeah. So they found him. He denied it. Stated she was just trying to cause trouble for him because he would not pay her for extortion demands. He had an alibi, and then they fucking just kept him moving. Wild.
Do you like talk? I don't know. I feel like that's another conversation for another time.
Oh, what you mean? What's going on?
Like, so here's my thing, right? I got, you know what I'm saying? I feel like you speak things into existence, right?
Yeah.
So like death per se, like people that like can like sit there and like talk about death, like I feel uncomfortable because I'm like, look, like I don't want to sit here and have a conversation with, like, this is different, but like in a regular circumstance, like if you, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like
talking about like you dying, like those type of things,
right? Or
just death in general,
just like death, like you know what I'm saying? Like me, like, you know, I mean, we've all had people pass away, and it's a shame, but it's like it's hard. Like I feel like the more you worry about that kind of thing, the more that thing is going to happen. Like people that are like, you know, I don't want to go in an aircraft because I'm afraid I'm going to die. Or I think the more you speak that, the more that it's going to happen.
Reminds me of some like Final Destination type shit. I don't know why.
Why? What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
Well, just like you talking about like speaking it into existence, and then like it just made me think of that movie. The movie used to terrify the fuck out of me, bro. Do you ever watch those movies, the Final Destination movies?
Oh, those movies are great.
So you remember that scene where they're like driving behind that truck with it's like loaded up with all them wooden logs?
Yeah.
And then the one where he gets, I think it might be a girl, and somebody gets stuck in an elevator, and it's like halfway to the floor, and they were like able to open the door, and they got to climb out it, and it just fucking falls. Like elevator scared the absolute shit out of me still because of that.
I get paranoid like when the door opens, like I'm always scared like the fucking elevator's not gonna be there or something, and you're just gonna walk into it and just fall.
Those movies are fucking. I haven't seen any like the more recent ones, but back in the day, man, fuck. That could be. We could talk about scary movies. I think with this, that'd be good. What a good one.
Like that's what I mean, though. Like I don't watch movies.
I don't either. I don't either.
Watch Final Destination because next time I fucking do some shit, crazy shit gonna happen. So I'm not doing it. I'm gonna knock on wood. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know.
The whole thing with the whole theme with the Final Destination is like all these people like escape death, and then now death is coming back to to come get them because they escaped. Like nobody escapes death type thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's they're due, and it's just getting them. I don't remember if anybody like actually beats it or not. I can't remember.
I don't think anybody ever does.
Do you think about death? Like, do you wake up and be like, hey, like, da 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 da?
I mean, I don't think about death every day. Like, I feel like grateful to be alive every day. I feel like
right. Okay.
Are you scared of dying?
I mean, I am.
I think I put my faith. Like, I ain't going to put this in another subject, but I put my faith in God. You know what I'm saying? To where like my life is already mapped out. You know what I'm saying? Like I broke an ankle, that was mapped out. Like I believe that everything's mapped out. That's why like I don't really worry about that kind of thing. Like you make your own decisions in life. Like you could wake up in the morning and go to work, or you could wake up in the morning and go fucking kill a 7-year-old. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you have your own decisions in life, but like I think there's 2 routes. You got the good route, the bad route, and then in between. No matter what you do, you have something planned for you at the end of that road.
So you're saying like you have free will, but things are also predetermined.
Right.
You got like 3 paths, and you just kind of pick one.
Right.
You think if you pick one of those paths, like you come back to the other one? Like if I pick the bad path, you think I could just like, all right, I'm done on this road. I'm gonna just change lanes over into the good path.
I think so. Like I'll use that example as like drug addicts. You know what I'm saying? Like they are drug addicts. You know, their life is not where, and maybe it's not where they want it to be, or maybe it is. I don't know. But I feel like they have, if they get the right help or whatever the situation may be, they can still come back and fucking
100%.
around. You know what I'm saying? So
it's a cool way to like think about life. I don't think I've ever thought about it like that. It's like, you know what I mean? I don't know. There's the whole fate concept and whatnot, but I don't know.
Everything happens for a reason, kind of thing.
I don't know. Like I don't know if I believe in that or not. It's
I think I do to a certain extent, but it's way harder to believe it like in hindsight though.
True. Like thinking about all the shit that happened to you, like was I fated just like to
like
have
that,
all this
that had to happen
terrible shit to happen to me, you know what I mean?
Right.
And then now all this bad stuff had happened, and I've not come up from that. I'm still just like a fucking average person, and I like, am I fated just to be a shitbag my whole life and live this shitty normal life, or is like some good gonna come my way because of all this bad?
Yeah, it could go opposite. Like if your life's going really good, you're like everything happens for a reason, and then if it's not going great, you might be like, well, there's no point of any of this.
Why did that happen?
Yeah.
Right. Which, yeah, I mean, fair, valid point for real. But like you see all these people that are like famous, right? Like from like I may be blocking out like the other half or whatever, but I feel like they all had some crazy ass shit that fucked with them. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, certain shit I don't know. I guess I'm backtracking myself because like, people's parents passing away and stuff like that. Like, why did that happen? What is that? What do you get out of that situation? So I see what you're saying.
Oh man, life's it's a crazy one. We could talk. We can go more in depth on this at the end if you guys want.
It's a box of chocolates.
Yeah, we can get in that box.
Yeah, life is a box.
We can keep it moving here, or if you guys want to throw one in.
We keep rolling.
I know you brought up Ted Bundy earlier. He's one of like the more notorious serial killers.
I would say he's like second to Jeffrey Dahmer in terms of like fame.
Yeah. So born in 1946, died in 1989. Kidnapped, raped, murdered numerous young women and girls. I think that this is the Chad. He was like the good looking dude that would like use his looks to pick up girls and then do his thing. So after more than a decade of denials, he confessed to 30 murders he committed in 7 states between a 4-year span. Nobody knows his true victim total. He's charismatic, handsome. He used those traits to exploit victims and society. The crazy thing is like he'd come up and find these people in public and then just like draw them in. So he'd use an injury as a reason to talk to them, impersonate an authority figure, and then bludgeon them into unconsciousness, taking them to a secondary location and doing his thing. He'd often revisiting his victims, grooming and performing sexual acts with the corpses until decomposition and destruction by wild animals made any further interactions impossible.
Why does it always involve sex?
I don't know.
That's always so weird.
He decapitated at least 12 and kept their heads in his apartment. He'd break into dwellings and bludgeon people as they're sleeping. Good God. Engineered 2 dramatic escapes. Committed further assaults in Florida. Did he escape from jail twice? Is that what that's saying?
Yeah, he did.
How do you escape from fucking jail twice?
No, I think when he escaped one, he like killed somebody like in the brief time he was out.
I mean, you might as well at that point, right?
I guess. He got executed in prison in 1989.
He's the fucking serial killer, fucking El Chapo.
Like, I guess. Sadistic sociopath who took pleasure from another human's pain and the control he had over his victims to the point of death and even after. He once described himself as the most cold-hearted son of a bitch you'll ever meet. Okay.
Maybe it is like a sexual thing that these people like. Maybe it like gives them the fulfillment most people get from sex. Like
He was also cremated.
that's nuts.
That seems to be a common theme here. I 100%. If these people were buried and somebody knew where they were buried, like I feel like somebody would go dig these people up and like
Do something to.
God, probably the same thing that they were doing to the other people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I would take a fat dump right on there.
Well, that's like the same thing they did with Osama bin Laden, right? They dropped his body in the ocean so nobody could go there, right?
I don't think they actually did that.
I ain't gonna speak on that situation. That's another topic.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I don't think they did it.
Me neither.
But they could have. You know, anything's possible. Let's see if there's anything from his childhood that we could pick out that maybe he was predetermined. His dad was an Air Force veteran.
Nice.
His dad abandoned his mom after she became pregnant. Some people suspect that he might have been fathered by his mom's own father. Man, that could do it.
Why is that? Like
I
the
guess
dad fucked his daughter, or the dad?
Okay. So I guess that could explain some things if he was the product of an incest, but they did a DNA test, and I guess he wasn't. So,
But if he thought that though, that would still make a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
So he was born outside of wedlock, and I guess that was kind of a big deal. So they raised him to avoid that stigma. Oh, his grandparents raised him to avoid that. Anything crazy in here? And boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats. Oh, I'm not seeing nothing crazy. Oh, here we go. Exhibited disturbing behavior at an early age. Just took me a little bit. Sister recalled awakening from a nap to find herself surrounded by knives from the kitchen and 3-year-old Ted standing by the bed smiling. Oh, hell no.
That boy should have been put down then.
That's like some Chucky shit. It's another scary movie.
Great franchise.
Fuck that movie. That movie used to terrify me. Somebody got thrown down a flight of stairs. I think that was his sister for oversleeping. Jesus Christ. Could you imagine a kid getting thrown down some stairs because you slept in?
That's fucked up.
Jesus Christ.
You ain't never got that ass beat for some stupid shit.
It was never stupid shit, but I did take my fair share of ass whoopings.
Sure.
Fair share, like on the daily.
Not for oversleeping, no.
Yeah, nothing for that. Nothing that light. Jesus, holy! Some people fucking. I just can't, man. Like now that I've had a kid,
like some people should.
I mean,
right.
Like before I had a kid, I'd read that like, oh man, that's crazy. Like that's kind of fucked up. And then now that I have a kid, I just it makes me like actually sick, and like shit makes me mad. Like, there's another thing I wanted to bring up. Like now that I've had a kid, and like if any of this shit like ever happened, it's on site.
Oh yeah.
I seen this one this one thing like this kid. I think I don't know if he got murdered, if he got like sexually molested or whatever, but like his dad, like the guy like came out of the courtroom, the dad fucking rolled up and fucking smoked him.
I saw that. I think I saw some shit like that.
I don't remember what the dude did to his kid, but he was not having it. Just ran up and shot him. 100%. If anything like that happened, then getting the homies and we rolling.
Oh, what?
Sure.
We on the way. We scoping out the courthouse and we waiting.
So all right. So on topic of that, right? Where do you draw the line to where it's a crime, right? Somebody fucking kills your fucking child and you kill them. Is that wrong?
No, I don't think so.
I would say like, I know this might sound weird. Like, what did my kid do? Like, if it was just like murder, like my kid straight got murdered, 100%. Like it's not.
But if your
I'm
kid
fucking,
was like some Jeffrey Dahmer, then
yeah, if my kid was like out there doing some fucked up shit, like anything like this, if they're out, like doing fucked up shit, like
Right, but no, I mean like regular, like your kids fucking gets killed by fucking. Well, let's not say your kid. Somebody's kid gets fucking killed like that. Why is that wrong for them to get their get back?
because then you're like murdering somebody. I mean, it's against the law. I mean, it's still like I find.
Like I get it. Like okay, it's
Yeah.
against the law. Like you can't do that. But like
You can't murder someone in cold blood. But it's not cold.
That's not cold blood.
They just fucking wronged you in a severe way.
Right.
And I don't know. They say that just let the justice system take care of it, but then you do, and then they get let out in 5 years on good behavior, and you're like,
yeah,
what the fuck? Then did my whoever mean fucking nothing? Right. Seems that way. And if that's the case, then if I didn't get in before they went, then I'm gonna find them when they get out.
You think we could look up something about people that have got let out that then got killed by the families? You think there's something that
I definitely bet you that's happening.
I'm sure. Yeah. I don't even know what you would search, maybe like revenge killings or something like that.
Yeah, something like that would probably pull it up.
I don't know. I'll see if I can pull something up. Put that on the back burner.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ted Bundy was a fucked up man. He actually went to college. Went to University of Washington to study Chinese. That's an interesting one. We'll skip to the good stuff. So they don't know when or where he began killing women. Told different stories, different people, and refused to divulge the specifics. So this is kind of like one of those people that didn't want to tell everything. But he did confess in graphic detail to dozens of later murders and the day's preceding his execution. I told who the fuck this Nelson person is, probably a cop. He attempted his first kidnapping in '69 in Jersey, but did not kill anyone until '71, so 2 years later. And then he killed 2 women in Atlantic City while visiting family in Philly in '69. So he's just kind of contradicting himself there a little bit. And they hinted to homicide in '72 in Seattle, and then '73. Wild. I wonder if it was all. Did it say if it was all females or not? I don't remember if it said that. I know there's just a lot. There's a lot to read. I'm just trying to quickly skim.
I think it was all females. I don't recall ever hearing about a man.
This one's crazy. He revisited this corpse on 3 occasions.
They probably feel some weird ass connection to him,
I guess. He was working as the assistant director of the Seattle Crime Prevention Advisory Commission, where he wrote a pamphlet for women on rape prevention. As this man's out here raping people.
That is nuts.
And then worked at the Department of Emergency Services, involving the search for the missing women that he had just killed.
So maybe it wasn't the Zodiac.
That's some ballsy ass.
That's like some Dexter levels type shit.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Smart or no?
Yeah, probably. I wonder if he was able to mislead them away from wherever they were at.
Right.
He probably could have. And I mean, depending on how smooth he was, that's pretty fucking smart.
He seemed like he was a smooth operator. So.
Yeah, if you could pull it off, then yeah. If not, you're an idiot.
I'm telling you, this dude was a fucking Chad.
That's nuts.
Yeah, we'll move on. Oh wait, no, I had another one. This one was kind of wild. Lee Chun-jai. Where did I find this person at? The little note section over here that caught my eyes. I was skimming. I think it was towards the bottom. I don't think this person killed too many people. Is that the Yuya? No. Different South Korean. Where are you? Oh, here you are. All right. Also known as the Huai Xiong, I probably butchered that, serial murders. Most of the victims were bound, gagged, and strangled to death with their own clothes. Sparked the largest criminal case in South Korea with 2 million officers mobilized and over 21,000 suspects
Christ.
investigated. And then a suspect identified in 2019. A suspect was identified in 2019, but he could not be prosecuted due to the statute of limitations. And then he later confessed to killing 15 people. In
So
addition
he
to the
wasn't
murder
able
of
to
his
get
sister-in-law.
prosecuted. He wasn't able to get prosecuted.
Nope. But then he confessed. So I don't know. Let me
Oh, so they probably took him to trial and then beat the case and then admitted later.
I guess. I mean, this person's not even dead yet, so he didn't die in jail. Let's see, did he end up getting arrested?
It says he's incarcerated.
Oh, so yeah, he was sentenced to life imprisonment with possibility of parole after 20 years for killing his sister-in-law. Is that the? Okay, so the sister-in-law was one of the ones. Despite DNA evidence and his confession to the other murders in 2019, he can now be prosecuted for them because of the statute of limitations. So he only got hit with the sister-in-law, it seems.
That's nuts that you could do that. Like, it's just you did that shit a long ass time ago, and you could just be like, "Yeah, I did that shit," and there's nothing they could do about it.
I thought that shit was nuts. The fucking just the sheer like manpower.
The manhunt they're going like
2 million police officers, are officers of some form or fashion. Like, holy shit!
That probably doesn't even help.
Have you ever seen 2 million people in one place?
No.
No, I haven't either. That's fucking nuts. Like, it's probably in like one city. I don't know. Holy fuck! It was probably like out there door to door, like crazy. How'd this person kill people? He went to the Korean army, served as a tank pilot. What the fuck is a tank pilot? They out there flying tanks in South Korea?
tank pilot.
Like, what the fuck is that? Okay, so unknown up to everyone up until 2019. So 4 years, between 86 and 91, he was in his 20s. Series of rapes and murders that occurred in this fucking province. He did all that. So he was just raping and murdering people. That's crazy. They went unsolved for 30 years, and then he just like, I wonder if he just got, overcome with fucking the sheer like magnitude of like what he did.
But think about it. If you're doing that, right, you're probably every day you're thinking like, oh my gosh, they know.
I'm gonna get caught today.
I'm gonna get caught. They know. Like, that's probably a rough way of living your life, knowing that.
It's like anybody that like breaks the law and like, like robs a bank or anything like that. You're like, any day now, I'm probably gonna get caught.
Right.
It wouldn't be that paranoia would not be worth whatever you got out of what you did.
No, absolutely not.
That's just crazy. 30 years unsolved, and the man is just like folded. How old would he have been in there? So in 2019 is when he confessed, but he was born in 63, so it's 40. That's like 60 something, 60-ish. No, because he's only
59, so he's probably like 50. That was 2019. He's probably like 56.
Well, when was the war in Korea?
That was in the 50s.
Yeah, 50s.
It was in the 50s.
Yeah, so he was born after that.
Okay. I was gonna say, I'm sure that probably went unnoticed because of that, but I'll take it back.
This one's pertaining to our neck of the woods, Larson. This dude is from Wichita. He did all his shit here, Sedgwick County. You never heard of the BTK killer?
No, I heard the dude that got shot, but his house got raided. Like somebody raided him.
Yeah, so the dude that the house that this guy lived in was like still here, like DeBizzle and them, and they wouldn't seen it. I don't know if it's occupied, but so he's born in 45. He went by BTK, which was bind, torture, kill. And so between 74 and 91, he killed 10 people here in Wichita and Park City, and sent taunting letters to police and media outlets describing the details of his crimes. And then after a decade-long hiatus, he resumed sending letters in 04, leading to his arrest in 05. And he's currently serving 10 consecutive life sentences. I said a life sentence. I can't fucking speak to save my life.
That's crazy that he's that close by. Like you guys are up in Wichita, but I'm not even that far. Like,
yeah, we was alive like when this was happening.
But you see how I'm saying that you could freaking walk past that guy and not know anything.
yeah.
Walk past.
He says he was in the Air Force.
Jesus Christ! What is with all these people in some sort of military connection? It's weird. So he grew up in Wichita. As a young age, he had sadistic sexual fantasies about torturing trapped and helpless women.
Oh,
he also exhibited zoosadism as a pleasure derived from cruelty to animals.
Jesus
Christ! Torturing, killing, hanging small animals. Acted out sexual fetishes for voyeurism, autoerotic asphyxiation, and cross-dressing. He often spied on female neighbors while dressed in women's clothing.
Jesus.
Including women's underwear that he had stolen and masturbated with ropes or other bindings around his arms and neck. What a sick fuck.
What?
So while his cooling off period, he would take pictures of himself wearing women's clothing and a female mask while bound. He later admitted that he was pretending to be his victims as part of a sexual fantasy.
He said, "Would you fuck me? I'd fuck me."
He was also married too. It was like, I don't think his wife he had kids and shit, and they just had no idea.
That'd be fucking crazy to be living with a fucking serial killer.
Yeah, right. This one was like a huge, the Otero family. It was like the first one. So in that Mindhunter show that they show this, so the dad was actually in the Air Force. So it was the dad and I think 3 kids and the wife. So the 3 older children who had been at school at the time of the killings. So he wrote a letter that had been stashed inside an engineering book in the Wichita Public Library in 1974, described the detail of the killing. What a weirdo, man.
Imagine finding that fucking...
Like, right. Would you just think that's like a joke or like...
You're out there studying for your degree. Fucking find that.
I don't know. I'd be creeped out. I don't know if I believe it. I probably wouldn't believe it. But then again, you never... I'd probably take it to the police anyway.
That shit's nuts.
Wow.
So in 2004, it was considered a cold case, and then he initiated a series of 11 communications to the local media. How did they get him? So the Wichita Eagle received a letter from someone using the name Bill Thomas Kilman, BTK.
Okay.
Interesting. So the author of the letter claimed that he had murdered this Vicky girl in 86, put photographs, the crime scene in there. Before this had not been definitively established that the person was killed by BTK. And then they got DNA from her fingernails. They began DNA testing hundreds of men in an effort to find the serial killer. Took 1,300 DNA samples.
Wow.
And then 2004, the Cake News, which is still a big news station, they got a letter from him. They found a package taped to a stop sign. Had graphic descriptions of the Otero murders. How the fuck did they get this, dude? What does it say?
Oh, it says police at the very bottom. If you don't scroll down the very bottom, it says police obtained the warrant to test a pap smear taken from Rader's daughter.
Oh, yeah, I remember that from the show. Yeah, continue, sorry.
Yeah, it said test showed a familiar match between the pap smear and a sample from Wegler's fingernails. Okay. So were they just taking random samples from people and just so happened that
I think I can't remember how they decided. Hold on. I think it talks about it up here. So they found this Microsoft Word document that was embedded in this metadata thing that I think he sent to somebody. Hanson, unknown to him, still stored on the floppy disk. The metadata contained the words Christ Lutheran Church. So he was working at this church, or he was at this church, and that's how they know where it was sent from. And the document was marked as last modified by Dennis. So they was like, all right, we think it's this guy. And then an internet search determined that a Dennis Rader was president of the church council. They drove by his house, seen the black Jeep Cherokee, the type of vehicle seen in the Home Depot surveillance footage, which was talked about earlier, where he dropped off one of the packages. And then they got strong circumstantial evidence, and then they needed direct evidence. So they got the warrant to do a pap smear from his daughter at the medical clinic. And then that's how they got the match.
And let's talk
I don't remember how
about
they convinced. What?
let's talk about traumatized. Okay, you're living with that man. That is your father.
You
Kissing
have
you,
no idea.
and then next day you wake up and he's a fucking serial killer.
That's
Yeah.
nuts.
Crazy.
And then you're like providing the evidence essentially.
I don't
Right.
know. I don't
Do
know
you
what I'm
love
doing
him
with
still?
that.
Do you
No.
love him?
Nope.
But you didn't know. You didn't know. This is your dad. You know, he's a loving
You
dad.
found out fucking today.
So you're gonna learn today.
Would you?
I think that's circumstantial.
I mean, what if he says he didn't do it? Like, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna take his word for
Are you
it
gonna
or
believe him?
not?
You know? That's your dad. You don't know.
I don't know. That's kind of that's different than like, oh, your dad got caught fucking, slinging crack on the corner.
Yeah.
You're still gonna love your dad. You know what I'm saying? Or your dad killed this dude because he got in a beef and just defending himself or whatever. Still gonna love him.
Yeah.
Right.
And your dad's going to prison for life for say you're murdering somebody or whatever. Probably still love him.
Right.
Fucking serial killing? Absolutely fucking not.
You're right.
Sexual predator? Absolutely
No.
fucking not.
No.
Sick, 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 sick.
Yes.
In the head.
Yes.
Yeah. 0% No shot. No shot.
Yeah.
For the people in the back, no shot. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah. I just like playing the devil's advocate.
I mean, yeah, like if I definitely felt like he did it, then yeah, like fuck no.
I
But, like,
don't.
I guess there's no example to relate to being a fucking serial killer. Like you couldn't be like, if your girl cheated on you, you're still gonna love her, probably, right? Maybe.
In some form, probably. Deep down, I think so.
Right.
But like, I don't know. I think at the beginning, you might like still have that love, but then you're like I think as it starts to like sink in, you're gonna be like, no.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you'd be like, my dad, he didn't do that, and then all this shit starts coming out, and you're probably like, okay, yeah, this fucker is a fucking sick fuck. Like, yeah,
exactly.
And your life would be ruined too, because your name's just gonna be associated with that.
Yeah,
I don't know if it'd ruin your life, but your life would suck.
No, if especially all his fucking like his kids were probably in high school. Like you're going to fucking. Could you imagine the fucking shit show you would have to deal with at school? Like just a normal high school dealing with people bullying people and just the drama. And then now they find out your fucking dad's a serial killer.
Oh yeah.
I'm pulling like say I'm the other parent in that situation. I'm pulling my fucking kids out of school. I'm probably moving. I'm 100% moving. I'm not fucking not staying in that house. We out you.
They'd be like shunned at school. I feel like nobody would want to talk to them because of that.
Yeah, they'd be like, "Oh, you probably knew. You'd probably hear that a lot. Oh, how'd you not know your dad was a serial killer? You know."
And everybody, like another thing, like what I'm saying, like in situations like that, or maybe not as like serious, like. They talk about it all the time, like the ones that are bullied and lone, like they're the ones that wind up doing that kind of shit, So it's like, I don't know. Crazy.
Very. This one's a little wild. So like, I don't think this person was never found. There's a whole ass movie about this. I think not Robert De Niro, Robert Downey Jr. is in it.
Yeah, I think so.
The dude that played
Is it Mark Ruffalo?
Mark Ruffalo's in it. I think they're both the cops, and then they're hunting down the guy. So
I thought they found the Zodiac killer.
I think they thought they knew who it was, but I think they think the dude died. I don't know. We'll read through it.
Yeah, I feel like they identified after they're dead.
So Zodiac Killer is a pseudonym for the unidentified serial killer who operated in Northern California in the late 60s. It's described as the most famous unsolved murder case in American history, becoming a fixture of popular culture and inspiring amateur detectives to attempt to resolve it. So, there was only 5 victims that I guess we know of in a year span, rural, urban, and suburban settings. He targeted young couples and a lone male cab driver. 2 of his attempted victims survived. So he claimed to have murdered 37 people, has been linked to several other cold cases. So the name originated in a series of taunting letters. Oh, this is similar to the BTK. He was like not emailing. There was a fucking email in the 60s. He was like sending shit to the cops and the news and like just taunting them with like riddles and stuff. So threatening killing sprees and bombings if they were not printed. Some of the letters included cryptograms or ciphers in which the killer claimed that he was collecting his victims as slaves for the afterlife. What the fuck?
Dear Lord.
Of the 4 ciphers he produced, 2 remain unsolved and 1 was cracked only in 2020. That's fucking nuts. That's fucking 60 years ago. 62 roughly. Something, give or take a few. While many theories regarding the identity of the killer have been suggested, the only suspect authorities ever publicly named was Arthur Lee Allen, a former elementary school teacher and convicted sex offender who died in 1992. So he ceased written communications around 1974. The unusual nature of the case led to international interest and sustained throughout the years. They marked the case inactive in 2004, reopened it in 2007, remains open in the city of Vallejo as well as in Napa County. Wow. That's crazy that it's like that shit's still unsolved. Like with all the mathematicians and smart people and technology that we have today, unless it just doesn't make any sense and it's not able to be solved. Like that's the only thing I could think of.
I could have sworn that they fucking found him and that his fucking DNA it was like an ancestry DNA thing and they found him and that he was like actually one of the cops that was working the case or something. Or am I thinking? I couldn't fucking sworn. I don't know. I could be wrong for sure.
I think this is kind of like a cipher he has got going on here because he's like, I hope you were having lots of fan instead of fun, trying to catch me. That wasn't me on the TV show, which bringo up a point about me. I am not afraid of the gas chamber because it's spelled wrong. Send me to paradise spelled wrong. All the probably sooner because I now have enough slaves to work for me where everyone else has nothing when they reach paradise. So they're afraid of death. I'm not afraid because I know that my new life will be an easy one in paradise death. So that's a cipher. This was the one solved in 2020. What's the what the fuck's what's solved about it? Like I'm confused.
What's the meaning?
Maybe there's a portion on that.
Wait, can you scroll back up for a second? It says something about DNA, a little more. There you hold on one second. It says handwritten letters anonymously contact investigators 2016 was identified DNA analysis.
Well, I confirmed the author was not the Zodiac.
Gotcha. And where this was in the same. Oh.
Yeah, that area.
Okay.
Where is the? So we got communications here. I want to see where's the cipher stuff. I don't know. That's what I'm fucking. 21st century developments.
That's crazy.
So they attempted to collect his DNA from the back stamps he used during his correspondence. They checked it against the GED match. I don't know what that is. What is that? Online service to compare autosomal. Is that how you spell it? Say that? DNA data files from different testing companies. Website gained. It's used by law enforcement to identify suspect in the Golden State Killer case in California. Huh. However, as in September 22, no results have been reported. Where the fuck is the cipher portion?
Let me see if I can find something.
Oh, here we go. Letters and ciphers gallery. New bomb is set up like this. Sunlight in early morning. A and B are photoelectric switches. When the sun beam is broken, A closes circuit, B opens, which makes B the cloudy day. I don't know what the fuck that is. Decision? So the bomb won't go off by acid. P.S. I hope you have fun trying to figure out who I killed. What a fucking jackass.
Oh, I think the thing that you read, the first one that you read.
Yeah, the one that just got solved.
Yeah.
2020.
Yeah, it said, "I hope you are having lots of fun and trying to catch me. I'm not afraid of the game because it will send me to paradise all the sooner. Because now I know I have enough slaves to work for me."
Oh, maybe they pulled that out of this.
Yeah,
because this is the one that was decrypted in 2020.
Oh, that makes a lot more sense.
How the fuck do you get that out of this?
So now, are you fucking sick to be able to fucking pull that out of there, or what?
No, honestly, it's a lot of like, I don't know. Ciphers are like really, it's like an really old thing. So I don't understand how that works. Like, how do you pull that whole paragraph out of this? I'm assuming this little compass thing has something to do with it, or maybe that's just like a red herring, kind of a distraction to try to make you not be able to figure it out. But
that's not a crosshair.
Oh yeah, maybe a cross. I think that maybe that was like his logo or some shit. Fuck, I seen that somewhere else. I mean, it's in here a couple times too. That's just weird. Like that dude had to have been smart as fuck to be able to make this shit. I don't think that elementary teacher that they thought was the dude doing it. Like, what fucking elementary teacher do you know that can write ciphers?
I don't know. Them fucking people are smart, man. Them fucking.
I'm not saying they're not, but like this smart, this shit's like on a whole nother level.
Oh no, teachers are like nerdy a lot of the times though.
And they always have their little kinks too that they really are like in with, like something they really.
True.
Here's the cipher deciphered. Cipher deciphered. That's a weird word combo by Donald and I don't fucking know somebody. So I guess the triangle is I like killing people because it's so much fun. I don't know what the fuck's going on here. Can I make this bigger?
Let me see. It says, "I like killing people because it's
so much fun. What the fuck is going on here? It is more fun than killing wild game in the forest because man is the
most.
Is it an H? Host? Most dangerous
animal.
Dangerous animal of all time. All to kill something. That dude's fucking whacked out. But yeah, the triangle is an I. This little fucking thing's an L. Like how are you?
Well, I did just read something that says that his ciphering was kept similar throughout all of his shit. Like, so if they seen something else that they cracked as an I before, like it was allegedly similar to his other ones.
I guess. Where's the one that's not been deciphered? Because it did say there was one that wasn't, right? Or was it 2? Huh. I don't know. That shit's nuts. What a smart piece of shit.
I feel like I mean, you can't kill people and not get caught without being somewhat fucking intelligent. You know?
Yeah, in some form of fashion.
Yes.
Well, that's
sick.
Oh, that's all the ones I had pulled out of this, this fucking serial killer list. You guys have any other ones?
I don't think so.
Really?
Well, I guess we can end our serial killer portion here.